Ian Huntley is absolutely terrified after the murder of Ian Watkins because he believes that he is next, which he quite well could be. Now, I've had information from inside of Franklin Prison that this monster has asked for extra protection, even though he's on the wing, which is the most protected because it has the most high-profile prisoners on inside of HMP Franklin. He has put a request in for extra protection. What does he want? Fucking security guard. The absolute wrong and what he is. Now, Ian Huntley has had, he's been, well, not enough, but he has been punished a couple of times inside of prison. One of which was the most serious, where he did nearly have that fatal blow from Damian Fowkes in March 2010. But like I say, when I've gotten this info, he is asking for extra protection, along with a few other of the high-profile prisoners who are thinking that they are next, which my viewers and I will take a little bit of comfort from, knowing that these monsters are absolutely shitting it, which they quite well should be. Now, when I've stated in other videos as well, that what they are actually trying to do, not so much in the high security prisons, but in the category C prisons, which is causing a lot of ructions and there is a lot of violence happening, because what they're trying to do is trying to mix the prisoners in. And the reason what they have actually said to certain prisoners, because I've told you previously about my friend inside of prison, they have laptops and they get updates of what's happening inside the prison system, and they're on about trying to do this in a lot more prisons where they're mixing the bacons in with the normal prisoners. Now, as you can imagine, the bacons are shitting themselves. But on the other side of it, the normal location lads are absolutely fucking fuming as well, because they're saying, I mean, a lot of them, like my pal who's a lifer, who's in a category B, who was due to go to category C, he's saying that when these bacons are getting mixed in with them, like if they find out there's a bacon living next door in the next door pad, they're going to end up doing them in. But then they're lifers, so what's going to happen to them? They could either get sent back to a category B, or when they come up on their parole board, they're going to get knocked back because they've been beaten nonsense up inside a prison. So there's ructions on, but I have mentioned about HMP Wakefield, which is 60% bacons, S-offenders, and 40% normal location lads. So as you can imagine, it's causing a lot of friction. And on the good note, the positive side of it, the bacons are shitting themselves and the bacons are getting done in, because everybody wants a bit of bacon bashing, a bit of prison justice inside the system. So Damian Fowkes, 36-year-old, who was serving a life sentence for robberies, he was handed down a life sentence in 2002 with a minimum tariff of 5 years and 220 days. His tariff had already expired when he attacked Huntley, meaning he could have been out if he'd kept his head down and played the system and got out on time. But his minimum term of 5.5 years was put up to a staggering 25 years, I believe it was. But I will come back to that in a moment. So, in March 2010, he has child killer hatred, which, as you can imagine, a lot of these prisoners who are serving these sentences as well have got that type of hatred, because any normal person as well has got a hatred for these type of prisoners. So just for the viewers that might not know, I'm sure the majority of my viewers will know, there is a lot more younger viewers and subscribers on my channel who might not remember this as well, because it was a long time ago. So Ian Huntley is serving a life sentence for the murder of 10-year-old schoolgirls Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman in 2002. And he was attacked in the healthcare department. So Huntley was obviously down in the healthcare department. He was working down there, cleaning the healthcare department up, believe it or not, because that's where he's been getting protected and kept away from the other prisoners, or he was. And then Damian Fowkes is down the healthcare for whatever reason. He's had his makeshift blade there. He's had a toothbrush with a melted blade in it, which is the go-to tool inside a jail because it's so easy to make and everyone gets razors in jail. When you first land in the jails, if you haven't got money and you don't buy obviously the Mac 3s or whatever, they give you the old orange Bic razors, which has obviously a razor blade inside. Get a couple of those, put them inside of a toothbrush handle, melt them in, and there you go, you've got your killer tool. So he's seen Huntley down there and he thought, right, I'm going to get you, I'm going to act out a bit of prison justice on you, you absolute wrong'un. So when he's seen his chance, he's went up to him, give him one of them right down his fucking throat. And then afterwards, the reason why he's getting done with the attempted murder, because he could have tried and get a fucking Section 18 and say, I wasn't trying to kill him, I was just trying to seriously harm him. The wound was 7 inches, required 21 stitches, but then he said to the screw, is he dead? I hope so. But he bled out really badly, but he obviously didn't hit the jugular, which is a shame for both of them because Fowkes says that's what he wanted, because he won't be getting out of jail. And a shame that wrong'un is still breathing, but the only good thing to take away from it is knowing that he's alive to get further repercussions within the system, because he will become under attack again at some point when there's not as many staff on, or when the opportunity arises like it did for Damian Fowkes. But that coward was screaming for his life, and like I say, he's been attacked on a few other occasions, and every time he squeals like a big baby, shouting for the screws like the coward that he is. Another one of my friends that was in down the healthcare, down for an appointment, because you've got different parts of the healthcare department inside of HMP Franklin. You've got the bit where the likes of Huntley and that was. Then you've got the bit where the normal location lads go down to see the doctor, but you get kept in a waiting room. But they had a little window that opened up. You look through and you could see the wing. You could see the wing where they were kept, and the prisoner was shouting out the window, giving him some abuse, shouting some home truths at him, what he needs, what everyone thinks of him, and he just barraged him for an hour out the window, griefed him to bits, and that coward had the audacity to put a complaint form in and try and sue him. I'm not sure if you go online and try and find it. I haven't looked for it myself. I think it is actually on there. It actually ended up in the papers because he was trying to sue the prison system because he was allowed to get abuse out the window for an hour. So he tried to sue the system. He actually sued the system after he was attacked off Damian Fowkes. He was trying to get 80,000, I think it was 100 grand or 80 grand he was trying to get. But he did end up with a substantial amount of money, a 5-figure sum, somewhere around about 60 grand, which is absolutely outrageous how he was allowed to sue the system. Because in this other article that I was looking at earlier on, see if I can still find it, it does say, Huntley attack, safety not guaranteed in prison. So the Prison Officers Association actually came out and said no prisoner or officer is entirely safe in a jail. So that's exactly what I was on about. Like, he should not have been awarded any money because they can't guarantee the safety, especially for what he's in for. It's absolutely guaranteed to happen. If you're in prison for that type of offence, are you going to get that sort of justice of the other inmates That's why you're on the VP wing, getting protected, the absolute coward. But after that attack, Damian Fowkes, when it says he has a hatred for these type of prisoners, he got transferred. He got a minimum of 20 years added on. That duty that he'd done for the law-abiding citizens, or anybody for that matter. Anyone who's not a bacon, he done us all a duty. But he received a minimum of 20 years on top of his already 5-year whatever. So he then got transferred to HMP Full Sutton, where he bumped into no other than Colin Hatch. So 2 seconds while I get this up about Hatch, because Hatch was an absolute horrid man. So Colin Hatch of North London was serving a life sentence for the murder of 7-year-old Sean Williams in Finchley in 1994, an offence committed while he was on parole for a previous attack on another child. So he was an absolute horrid man, and Damian Fowkes done the highest duty for us doing that to that absolute wronging. But for that one, luckily, he was actually given that offence was actually manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. The crime, manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. He should have gotten fucking a suspended sentence for Ian Huntley, but he ended up with them extra years. And Colin Hatch, he took him into the pod, put a ligature around his neck, and sent him off to hell. He done everyone a duty of care. But anyways, people, I thought I would bring that to your attention because, like I say, I have been asked about an update on that, and I've been sent a bit of information that he is absolutely shitting it, asking for extra protection. The audacity of it, can you believe it? But I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are still enjoying the content. And if you are, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I will be doing more updates on these type of offences that have happened inside of prison. Anyways, I'll leave that one there for now, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe.